in the market for a new job, well, your biggest stunt factor could be your own resume, and we've got recruiter guy Bill Humbert here to talk us through on how you can improve your resume. Good morning, Bill.
Good morning, Maddie. It's great to see you.
It's so great to see you, and it's always so great to have some of your expert knowledge shared with us, so that way if any of us are in the market for a new job, you're going to give us all the right tips and tricks to find that job that's going to fit with our lifestyle perfectly.
That's correct. We're going to rip into it. What I've found is that many people fret over their resumes during their job search. And as a leading talent attraction consultant with over 40 years of experience, I have read over 400,000 resumes. And over those years, I've read the great, the good, and the truly terrible resumes.
Now, it's important that people don't have that truly terrible resume. So what are some of the things that people should make sure are in their resume?
From a structure perspective, it's important to put your name and contact information at the top of the resume. Now, over the years, you can imagine, I've had several candidates not put their contact or even their name on the top of the resume, and I'm going, wow, this person has great experience, but I don't know who they are. So make sure your name and contact information right at the top, and I like to see them centered. And then followed by a 4 to 5 sentence summary of your experience with some metrics of the accomplishments that you've made. When you write a resume, drop the pronouns and begin sentences with action verbs and put them in the past tense, even your current job. And then write your responsibilities in a paragraph format and then bullet point your accomplishments. And again, it's best to have metrics because that demonstrates the impact. And then finally put in your college education if you have a college education. If not, if you have different certifications, put them at the end.
Now, what are many of the mistakes that most people make as they're writing their resumes?
Most people do not understand that they need to end up having one base resume and then building another resume off of that functional first resume, that base resume, and tailor it to the wording in the job description. Otherwise, what will happen is the applicant tracking system will just throw you out. So use the same words that the job description has to describe what it is that you're doing. And if you do that, you're speaking their language. And speaking your language will keep your resume from getting screened out by the applicant tracking system.
Which is really important, and especially now as we've got different technologies that can go through, read your resume, get through it very quickly. Those buzzwords that you do see the job or the employer using are really important for you to focus on.
Exactly. A lot of applicant tracking system companies say they use artificial intelligence to select the candidates, but truly it's just a keyword search. So I call it artificial intelligence.
Which is just one step that you have to make it through to be able to get that job. Now, you've got a great book out. It's called Expect Success. This book talks about why it's important to list your accomplishments. Now, why is it important that you give people your list of accomplishments as you're applying for a job?
So accomplishments define you as a candidate. And unless you list your accomplishments, preferably with the metrics that demonstrate the impact, your accomplishments probably will not be included in the interview because the manager typically goes right down through your resume while they're interviewing you.
And they're going to bring those accomplishments up. They're going to expand on them. They're going to talk about them a little bit. But if you're uncomfortable to bring those up in the interview, it's best that they're on your resume.
Absolutely. And it's, you see some people that, well, I don't want to brag. Well, now's the time to brag. Brag now. Because that's how you're going to get the job.
And all of these tips and tricks will help people find that perfect career for them because there are so many different tools to use out there. Now, if someone wants you to maybe help them build a resume, is that a service that you offer?
I offer coaching, and so the job search mirrors, and I know people are going to love to hear this, the job search mirrors the sales process perfectly. And, if you pick up Expect Success, the science of the over 50 career search, it doesn't matter your age, it's good for everybody. I just hit a niche. So pick that book up and it'll give you a lot of tips. But if you want actual coaching, just go to recruiterguy.com, and above the fold, there's a red banner that says Speak with Bill. Pick a time that fits your calendar, and we'll have a conversation, and you can decide whether you want my coaching or not.
And if you had one final conclusion that you would like to bring to people's attention as we wrap up this interview, what is that piece?
Accomplishments listed on your resume demonstrate your strength as a candidate. And that's what attracts people.
Well, I was going to let that be the final question, but as people are going through and deciding what their accomplishments are and what they would like to list, how do they narrow it down to pick the best few for their resume?
I'll just go to the job description and see what the job description says that they require. That's one way. The second way, if you've networked your way in, talk to the person who introduced you to the manager and say, what do you think that manager's major issues are that I may be able to help? And boy, that way you can just dial right into exactly what they need.
Bill, you always have the best advice for people who are either searching for the perfect candidate or people who are the perfect candidate searching for the perfect job. Thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us and giving us all this great information.
Thank you, Maddie. It was great chatting with you.
Make sure that you go to RecruiterGuy.com. That way you can get some time with Bill, you can pick his brain, and you can get even more of his knowledge because he is a fantastic coach. We're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we've got more of the show.